Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a quick clarification. I recently did a video on Marxism, and so if you haven't watched that, go watch it. But I just wanted to add a quick video in res- to as an addition to that. So so Marxism, um, I think to really look at things, you have to look at the idea of the person, and you have to. I think if we're going to really weigh philosophies, we have to look at who the person was who was actually espousing the philosophy. So when you look at Marxism, you look at the man. I know I talked a little bit about this in the last video, but Karl Marx was, it seemed like he was just a terrible person. He hated his parents. He couldn't provide for his children. He worshipped the devil. He didn't ever take a bath, and so he was covered with painful sores. He was always exporting blame, never taking responsibility. Um, and so he was very smart and an intellectual, but you can kind of see how, like, an intellectual just is they're espousing ideas that are extensions of themselves. And so when you look at the theories that he, as a really smart and brilliant economist, was espousing, they were in essence just an extension of who he was as a person. And so if we see ourselves as following Marxism or uh, or a branch of Marxism, we we see people who are true Marxists doing kind of the same types of things. Not, I mean, I'm not saying they're all deadbeats, but lots of times they export blame and they sulk in a victim mentality, and that comes from the philosophy and worldview of their leader. The person who they're following. And when Marxism is one of the main driving forces behind the cultural climate and the political climate, we have to look at, as Christians, we have to look at where these ideas originated and who they came from. And I think that's a very important thing for us to do. Um, and I mean, there's other intellectuals too who we can look at, like Freud and Nietzsche and Foucault. Nietzsche and Foucault had experienced psychosis and suicidal mentalities. Althusser, who was a Louis Althusser, who was a Marxist theologian, right? Because that was his theology was Marxism. He ended up actually we read him in college, and I remember reading his biography in college. And Louis Althusser actually killed his wife, murdered his wife in his old age, and went insane. And I think he like ended up in an insane asylum or in prison or something. And I remember in college, like, his writing was very intellectual, but I was like, why are we reading about the ideas of a person who went insane, who committed murder, murdered his wife, and somebody did evil like that? But I didn't really. I kind of, at that point, I wasn't discerning enough to really recognize like the gravity of that question. But now I always am ready and willing to look at the person who's espousing the ideas. So I prefer writings now of people who I greatly admire, Dietrich Bonhoeffer, um, and whoever else is, C.S. Lewis, and people who were amazing human beings, who had great faith, were who understood the significance of the times, and looked at things through a godly perspective. So as Christians, like, if we're falling for that, we're falling into that ploy of the political left. We also have to be discerning and recognize, like, a lot of this is powered and driven by the engine of Marxist theories, like critical race theory, like advanced gender theory, queer theory, um, and I'm not trying to be anti-gay right now. I'm just talking about these theories that arose throughout the last decades, a lot of them were rooted in criticism and Marxist criticism specifically. So yeah, when we as Christians are subscribing to the left, we have to recognize that one of its, if not its most powerful engine right now, is Marxist theory. And the reason why Marxism is so alluring is because it speaks to that human condition, it speaks to our sinful nature, which always desires to feed our own flesh, feed our selfish interests. And when we are facing blame, we always can export that blame to another external source, to the bourgeois, to our parents, to whatever authorities, to God, whatever authority is higher than us. And so, anyways, I'm going to cut it off here. So this is a good short video, but I hope that this helped some of you to kind of like, if some of you who are on that left leaning side and thinking like, you know, maybe kind of conflicted because you're like, wait, there's something else going on here that you can't really recognize what it is. This video is meant to kind of help you to see that. And again, I'm not trying to condemn anyone or anything like that, but just to warn and to help people. So anyways, hope this video blessed somebody out there in the stratosphere. Please like and subscribe if it helped you, and God bless.